What up, guys? Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. Oh, wow, this is blurry. Hang on. That's a little better. Sorry about that. Not that it matters. This is a podcast anyways, so it's audio format, but some people like to look and watch. What was I saying? Oh, today is May 15th, 2025. Just been working, playing some Zelda. I finally beat Dungeon 5 in the first Zelda. It was hard as fuck. It took me like 5 or 6 times. I had to use a potion multiple times. It was hard as fuck, dude. What kept getting me, dude, was these, if you're a Zelda fan, you know what I'm talking about. The Dark Nuts, man. You have to go through a room full of Dark Nuts, then go through another room full of Dark Nuts to get the recorder, because they didn't have the ocarina until Zelda Link's Awakening, I believe. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure in Link to the Past, I think it's a recorder also. But, and then you had to use that on the final boss of that dungeon, which, once you use that, it only takes like one hit if you got the Master Sword. So I'm like, it was hard as fuck though, so I'm on Dungeon 6 now. But yeah, just been playing some Zelda. I played a bunch of Link to the Past last night and got up to like Dungeon 3, trying to get the third pendant. Just did a bunch of side quest shit, so I've been progressing. Those will be my next 2 video game reviews on this channel. But yeah, just been working. Work's been chill. Playing video games, trying to enjoy life, you know. So today is gonna be kind of like a conspiracy compilation, probably, because I don't see me talking super long on each individual subject. Maybe a double feature. We'll see. And we're just gonna go through some conspiracy stuff that I've been writing down and just haven't had the chance to get to. So let's get on with the show. So as you guys know, like, I get a lot of info from Minutes of Horror and Seconds of Horror. He's honestly, dude, I give him shout outs all the time. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. Tell him who sent you. Maybe he'll give me a shout out, because I love his channel. And he's super cool. He's not like toxic like a lot of different other content creators, which is big in my book. You guys know about me. I'm always talking about toxicity within the conspiracy community, because it's a huge problem. It's divide and conquer, which is what the elites want. But I get a shit ton of info from him, a lot of scoops. So I was watching his video and it got brought to my attention, and this is kind of older news, but it's not super old. It's been going on here lately. Shipping containers. Mysterious shipping containers have been like stopped on railroad tracks for like days, sometimes weeks, by the way. And this happened over in Chicago. There was a dude who was literally like, see those railroad tracks? He was filming it. It was a video. Someone made a TikTok, and he was a resident of Chicago, which Chicago is shady as shit, dude. What was it? Beetlejuice was shady as shit during the whole COVID thing. Barack Obama's from there. It's just, I don't ever want to go to Chicago. For one, it's nasty and the crime rate is horrible. I've lived in Detroit for a year, and yeah, I've heard Chicago's like worse than Detroit. I'm not sure if Chicago's worse than Gary, Indiana. I'd have to look that one up. But it's fucking nasty. It's gross. They do a lot of fucking psyops there. I feel like Chicago, where it's a blue city, is Illinois a blue state? It wouldn't surprise me, but it's just Babylon, dude. And the government uses it as like definitely just finished eating. Definitely a guinea pig city for the elites and psyops and stuff. But this resident was filming a train track in Chicago, and he's like, see that train track right there? He said it's been parked there for days, and eventually it'll get broken into. He's like, all that's holding it people back is just bolt cutters, you know. And he said this has happened multiple times. He said those are filled with guns. And what happens is, like, the street gangs and shit, they'll scope out one of these containers and scope it out for a couple days, make sure the coast is clear, and come in one night with a bunch of dudes and fucking crack it open, and there's like fucking submachine guns and ARs and shit in there. Crazy. And he said it's happened multiple times, and that's where the gangs get all their guns and shit. And it isn't that far-fetched, man. What was it? Project Fast and Furious, which, by the way, we've delved into that conspiracy that they make movies. Usually it's movies under the same name of operations that they do. So like England did Operation Clockwork Orange. Suddenly there's a movie, Clockwork Orange. So every time you Google it or research it, that's what you're gonna find, is Clockwork Orange, the book and movie. Frozen, Disney Frozen. So when you type in Walt Disney's head frozen, that's what's gonna pop up. Taylor Swift dating that dude from the Jets. So when you try to look up her being a climate activist and how much jet fuel she uses, you're gonna find articles on their relationship. Same thing with Fast and the Furious. So this operation was basically, in layman's terms, Obama using the CIA. Imagine that again. Why is it always the CIA, dude? Those three letters pop up with like 90% of conspiracies. It's just interesting. It's almost like they're behind like everything. Yeah, they were like smuggling guns to the fucking cartels in Mexico. Like, that was the whole operation, was to smuggle guns to the cartels in Mexico. And you see this all the time. Go look into the Taliban, go look into, it's always fucking intelligence agencies, you know. So that was one container, and that happened like last year. It was either last year, yeah, it was last year sometime that happened. So there's been more containers that have been happening. So let's get into some of the most recent mysterious train shipping containers. So there was one, and this is where it kind of got brought to my attention. I just thought it was interesting, and at first I was like, I don't know. At first I was skeptical and being kind of negative towards it, because I totally forgot about the Chicago one with the guns. And there was a shipping container that washed on shore in Jamaica, and I don't know much about Jamaica. I know a little bit because I was a Rasta like back in the day for a little bit, a short period of time, and I do know that their poverty rate and crime rate is like really high and shit. So in Jamaica though, a shipping container washed on shore, and it was full of chicken, and all these people broke into it, and it was still cold, and went in and grabbed all this chicken. And everyone in the comments section was going, you know, like, don't eat the chicken, don't eat the chicken. Well, no offense, most of my audience is from the United States. I have a little bit in Canada, a little bit in England, but it's easy for us to say, I don't know about you, but as an American, I'm a fucking spoiled brat. I mean, I started this podcast talking about how I work and then go home and play Legend of Zelda. I literally got the hiccups right now because I just finished eating a cheeseburger. From what I heard, like I said, I don't know. I've never lived in Jamaica. I don't know. But the guy who made this video, I think it was Truth Seeker. So he was like, dude, people keep saying, you know, like, don't eat the chicken. No, it was Minutes of Horror. Don't eat the chicken, don't eat the chicken. But he was explaining, like, dude, some of these people who are storming in and grabbing this chicken, and they were whole chickens, like butterball chickens, you know, like rotisserie, like the entire chicken. They were like, he was explaining a lot of these people, they probably haven't eaten in like days. So, like, food is food, you know, whether it's laced with something, who the fuck knows. And I don't know, man, there's been a lot of fucking, in my opinion, experiments going on lately. With the whole Blue Rain. Go look up that episode on Blue Rain. It was, I think like 2 or 3 episodes back. It's just called Blue Rain. Go check it out. All these like sightings of blue rain and one guy drinking it and tripping balls. I tell that story. That's fucking nuts. Like, and we get into how the government has experimented with LSD on American citizens without us knowing it. Once again, CIA. There's another story we're going to get into in another episode probably, but other shit besides blue rain is falling from the sky now. It just gets... Every day in 2025, it's like, I love it because I'm not running out of shit to talk about. So, I don't know. It's just insane to me that an entire shipping container full of chicken washed up on Jamaica. And at first I was like, okay, maybe it was, I try to play devil's advocate and use Occam's razor, and I was like, well, maybe it is an accident, because accidents do happen. Maybe the waters were choppy, the shipping container fell off, it washed on shore. That can happen, you know. Until there was another shipping container, and it was found in a farmer's field. This dude, farmers know their land, you know. And there's a shipping container in the middle of his field. And I've lived out in the country and shit. Like, I had my own land out in Perryville. I had 5 acres. I lived on a farm, my buddy David's, for a while. And both locations, all I had was antenna TV. No internet. All we had was a VCR and DVD player and antenna TV. So, you're either watching the same movies over and over again, or watching the news, or Jerry Springer, or that's about it. Or you're reading a book. I do a lot of reading when I live out in the country. I can live without internet. I really don't need internet. You find different ways to occupy your time. So you walk around on your land a lot, dude. I used to go on walks, just like, I'd get my claymore. I had a claymore. I'd put my claymore on my back and just be like, all right, I'm going out. And my ex-wife would be like, what are you doing? I'm going out to the woods, man. I'm going to go have fun for a while. And just enjoy myself. I hope they do not fucking pull over here, dude. I don't want to talk to them right now. So you know your land. Sorry, my buddies. I swear to God, they interrupt my podcast all the fucking time. And yeah, this dude wakes up and he goes out to his field, probably just walking around, drinking his coffee, maybe smoking a cigarette, whatever, and there's a fucking huge container, shipping container there. And it's unlocked. So he walks in and goes and looks, and this is a weird one. So once again, it's chicken. But this one's different. he says that the chicken is it's all in buckets with some weird sort of fucking chemical in it, and he said it had a chemical smell to it. So is he jumping on the conspiracy bandwagon? Because there was no film of it. It was just his story. It did not tell. That's where I do have to play devil's advocate. He said that he never gave the location. The video was taken down, apparently. That's why supposedly that's why the video was not shown, is because TikTok took the video down. I don't know. It's kind of like the Blue Rain episode. You guys know me. I try to be skeptical on this shit. Did he hear the original Jamaica story and go, ooh, that's a cool story, I could jump on this bandwagon for views? Because people go, well, why, would you do that? Well, for one, some people are starving for attention. And there are, like, pathological liars and shit out there. We did a whole episode talking about Donald Marshall. But some people do it for money. You can get paid for that shit. TikTok pays, You can get monetized on TikTok and make tons of fucking money, And maybe he just heard the chicken container story about Jamaica and jumped on the bandwagon. Who knows? I thought that was interesting, though. And there was one more. Apparently, yeah, let's see. There's one more. Actually, two more. Another video of shipping containers. This one was on train tracks. And there was a neighborhood right next to it. So the train mysteriously dropped. It's not a caboose. The caboose is the last one. A rail car? Yeah, a rail car with a shipping container on it. Right next to a neighborhood. And it was a black lady filming it. And she was filming it. And this one I did see with my own two eyes. And she got as close as she could. Because they do have like railroad police and shit, and I believe there was a fence, like a chain link fence in the way, if I remember the video correctly. So she got as close as she could, and you could hear the AC unit, like, so whatever this shipping container had in it, it needed to be like refrigerated. So was it chicken? I don't know. They've been using chicken a lot lately, so it might have been chicken. Why this dude was parked behind me, now he pulled up, so I don't fucking know if he's just being nosy or what. Like, I'm podcasting, bro. And it's weird, like, because if it's food and it's a delivery, you would think that they would want to get that food there as quick as possible, because the shipping container would have had to have been hooked up to like a generator or something, you know what I mean, to keep the refrigeration system going. That's gas, that's power, that's money, plus you're losing money on that food if that food goes bad, But she was saying that shipping container had been there for days, and apparently she's like, she's a black lady and she lives in like a black neighborhood, so like I'm guessing someone's gonna say I'm racist, but it didn't look like the best of neighborhoods. So like she's like, I think what they want us to do, and this is her words, I think what they want us to do is to break into that and get whatever food's out from inside of that. And it's probably laced with something like, who fucking knows, LSD, Waka. Another thing too, that could be honestly kind of like, because we talked about it before on this channel. It got deleted on YouTube. You'd have to go on Spotify, because YouTube is a child's playground. Sorry, I am gonna pick at you a little bit if you just use YouTube to get the truth. Like, either you're new to the game or you're just not that bright. Like, I did an episode on it. It's Spotify and Rumble exclusive about how they're putting vaccines in lettuce and vegetables and stuff now. You could be taking literally genetically altering vaccines in vegetables and not even know it. I mean, World Economic Forum talked about they were going to put bovine virus in meat and put it in the grocery stores. They didn't even hide it. They literally were like, yeah, we're going to put it in meat in the grocery store. That way, when you eat meat, because we don't want you eating meat, you will eat Z crickets and like it. Yeah, you'll just automatically get the virus, which if you don't know much about bovine, it's like basically when you get bovine virus, it makes it to where you can't eat meat. Like you will literally get sick as a dog and shit your brains out. Kind of like lactose intolerant, but with red meat. And I don't know about you, but I love some red meat. Like I'm not like a typical dude that, you know, I gotta have a steak, you know, all the time. But once in a blue moon, dude, I do crave like a good medium rare, thick ass steak. Medium rare, of course. I'm not a monster. If it's not medium rare, there's something wrong with you. You're ruining it. But I don't know about you, but as a dude, every now and then I crave a fucking steak, man, and I gotta get me a steak in, you know. Most of the time I crave like crab legs and seafood and shit, but you know. So that bums me out, man, that they're trying to give me this fucking virus so I can't eat it anymore, or else I shit my brains out and get sick as a dog. But there's a air within the conspiracy community of people just going, well, don't eat it, you know, don't go to Walmart, don't go, you know. And what it is like homesteaders. There's a huge like superiority complex of like homesteaders. And look, if I could be a homesteader, I would. I was this fucking close, but my ex-wife went crazy. The house we were living in, it was falling apart to begin with, and then it completely fell apart while I lived there out in Perryville. So I could not keep this house up. Like, I literally couldn't afford it. And my ex-wife was destroying it because of her alcoholism and shit. I wasn't meant to live there. But, the thing is, like, I make $13 an hour working at a gas station. I don't make that much fucking money. So it's aggravating to me because I live in the city, in a neighborhood, well, on the outskirts of a city, but it's still close to a big city in a neighborhood. Like, I don't have the money to just buy a farm and raise chickens and goats and cows and have a garden. Like, we have a garden. We're growing potatoes and tomatoes right now. But I do the best that I can to live off the land. So it pisses me off, man, when I hear all these like people in comment sections like, I don't eat that trash. It's like, well, that's nice that you have the option. It never occurs to these people that like some of us don't have the option. Some of us have to eat Walmart's steak or Walmart's, you know, TV dinners, like. And hopefully RFK fixes all that shit, you know. I hope so. But it's just, if you're in the conspiracy community, chill out on the whole superiority of I don't have to eat that. Like, you're an idiot if you eat it. Like, some of us don't have the option. I'll never forget when I lived at David's. He was like, we were talking about fast food, and he's like, I don't understand how people eat fast food. That shit's so expensive. It's cheaper to go to Walmart and just get groceries. And I said, no, it's not. And my wife, she backed me up on it too, because she knows. When I was a single dad, me and my daughter lived off of fast food because it was cheaper. When me and my ex-wife were together, we lived off of fast food then because it was cheaper. And if you've done it, you know that it's actually cheaper sometimes to feed like a family of like 3 and under, family of 2, feed yourself if you're living alone. It's sometimes cheaper to eat fast food and live off of fast food than to go to the grocery store and buy groceries. And I don't know about you, but with prices and shit nowadays, first of all, fast food is expensive as fuck now. Like, McDonald's is losing its sales, which is good because they're evil as fuck. Every time I pass a McDonald's, dude, like the drive-thru is fucking empty. And I worked at McDonald's for 3 years. I remember in McDonald's heyday in like 2012-ish, that around that era, like, dude, slammed every summer, slammed 24/7, dude. Now every time I drive by and look at it, dude, like there's no fucking business. It's dead as hell. I just order and go right through. But I don't know if you've been to the grocery store here lately, but it's just me and my wife. Once in a while we buy for my mother-in-law, depending. It depends on how much money we have, and because my wife is the breadwinner, so usually she'll be like, hey, I got groceries tonight and I'm getting mom some stuff too. And I'm like, hey, you're the breadwinner. As long as bills are paid, I'm happy, you know. You let me get a beer every now and then, and I'm a pretty chill guy. Just let me get a 6-pack of beer every now and then. On a day off, you know. That and do some weird things in the bedroom. I'm happy, dude. I'm very simple. Men are wired so simple. But like the point I was making though is like we'll get like 2 bags of shit and it'll be like $50 $60 for like 2 bags of groceries. We went and made hamburgers one night, and I'll never forget this, dude. We got the patties, and we were trying to go cheap. We got like Kroger brand patties. We got buns, we got cheese, and like an onion to cut. And dude, it was like $30 fucking. I said, honey, we could have literally just picked up 3 McDoubles from McDonald's and just drove home. And I was so fucking pissed. I'm like, dude, we just spent $30 for hamburgers and we got to fix it ourselves. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. I said, I was so fucking irritated, you know. It was like with the prices and shit. And I know people are freaking out about the tariffs. The only thing I can tell you is I watch this channel, God Rules. So shout out to him. He seems pretty cool. He's saying that, yes, it's rough right now if we can just wait it out. Because apparently he's like an economist or something, from what I know. And someone else called into Broken Simulation and they were talking about it too. Like, yes, everyone's pissed about the tariffs right now. It's a momentary short period of time we're gonna have to deal with this. Maybe by short I mean like maybe a decade. Like we might have to deal with bullshit for a decade. So, but he's like, dude, in the long run, it'll bring jobs back to America. Like America will prosper. And I don't know about you. Like I'm not like, I don't love my government. I hate my government, but I love my nation. You know? Does that make sense? If in the long run, it brings jobs back to America and America prospers from this, I'm willing to, you know, cut some corners and live poor. Because I don't know about you guys, I've been poor for a while. I left the house with a suitcase at 18 years old and was a couch surfer, homeless. I've been poor as shit, like, since I was 18 fucking years old. I mean, I've had moments like a year or two here and there of like living amazingly when I was bartending. But I had to work 6 days a week, 3 doubles a week to make that money, you know? And I could live lavishly and shit. But even then, it was still wasn't amazingly lavishly. I had to be frugal. So that's another thing too, man. No one knows how to be frugal anymore. But that's enough talking about the economy and shit. I did want to discuss, though, the weird shipping containers. Let me know if you guys have heard. I reported on 3 or 4. I think that's a good episode. And we stayed on one subject, so that's cool. Let me know if you guys have heard any other shipping container stories, mysterious shipping container stories here recently. I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 500 subscribers, and you all have a blessed day. And hang in there. I know it's tough. Things are tough all over.